All right, guys, we are live in living color. Welcome to another fantastic episode of This Week in Reselling. I am your host, Ray, and I am joined with my co-host here, Dustin.
What's up?
Dustin's in full Titans mode right now. He's got the Titans jersey in the back. He's got the Titans hat. He's got the Titans hoodie. Guys, if you're not aware, the Titans are number one in the AFC. And I don't want to jinx it, but we could be going to the Super Bowl, right, Dustin?
Yes, sir. But let's not say anything yet.
Let's do it. But guys, I am super excited about today's episode because we have none other than Ben Vintage 86 on today's episode. And he is everything vintage clothing. I'm talking about vintage clothing, vintage hats, vintage toys.
Yes, sir.
Vintage, you're going to the thrift store, you're going to the estate sale, go to the garage sale, and you're looking for those vintage goods. Ben's going to tell us how to look for them. Give us some tips, give us some tricks. But guys, if you want to learn more about Ben, all of his links are down in the description below. He's got a lot going on, but all of his stuff is linked down below. But Ben, or Jeremy, if I want to say. His name is Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
But tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
So I mean, how far you want to know?
Just tell us how you got into this whole vintage thing. I know this is like, some people do this for a hobby. This is your lifestyle, bro. Like you were telling me.
So I'll start with I was working a full-time job at Jimmy John's, and I was basically about to become, an area manager for the company. And long story short, things just didn't work out. But while I was working at Jimmy John's, I was also doing resell on the side as a hobby, kind of just trying to make extra money because I was interested in like vintage stuff. So I was picking up video games, toys, movies and type stuff like that, and just selling them on like Facebook Marketplace and eBay and things like that. And I started picking up a lot of sales, while I was working full time. And it started taking up a lot of my time. It started gathering more interest. I started getting more interested in it, learning more about the whole like resale, game. And long story short, basically I left Jimmy John's to start doing that full time because I was making more money on the side as a side hustle than I was at my regular job. And plus I found more passion in this than I did, making sandwiches. So I stopped, it was like 6.5 years ago, I stopped working full time for Jimmy John's and just put all my energy, all my time, all my effort, all my money into resell. And the first lot that I ever bought was like I think it was like $700 or so. I took a bunch of my tax money in return and invested into buying like a gigantic lot off of this guy. I drove like an hour and a half to go meet him, picked it up and loaded everything into my car. It was a video game lot. And I spent the whole year selling through that lot, and it made me almost $4,000 that year.
Wow.
So that's where it all started.
And dude, I bet that was pretty risky. You dropping down $700, and
yeah,
because even that much cash, it could be pretty risky. And I don't know if you at the time you had a family or anything like that. It could be, like I said, it could be risky.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was definitely like a kind of like a free jump. You know what I mean? It was like if I don't do this now, I'm probably never going to take this risk ever again. But I was at the point where I was comfortable enough with taking that risk, and I was married. We were about to have our second child. I have 4 kids, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So, and yes, I do this full time.
Oh, hey, that's awesome.
Impressive. That's impressive.
That is, super impressive. But let's say hi to some people in the chat because
Yeah, I'm kind of jumping back in, looking at those.
Yeah, anybody, and I'll pop them on the screen, Garrett, so you can see them. But anybody that's in the chat, if you want to ask him any kind of vintage related questions, do so. Now is the time. We'll get those answered, of course. And guys, if you're listening to this on the podcast and you haven't already subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe, leave a 5-star review so it bumps us up in the podcast algorithm. So let's go ahead and say hi to some people. We have our boy Adam Exploits. He also has a great YouTube channel where he does interviews with other resellers. So go check him out if you haven't already. We have Hey Ratch Disco. He says, I've been learning so much from you guys. Glad I found you. Well, hey, thank you so much. That's one of the things Dustin and I really like to do. Our, I guess, mission statement is we want to educate people in reselling in a fun and entertaining way. So we want to do that to the best of our abilities. So thank you so much. And we have Raymond here. He says, hey, everyone, how's it going tonight? We're doing
What's
well.
up, Raymond?
And we have Marie. She says, Ray and Dustin in chat. What's going on? And let's see here. We have Justin is in the building. He says, hi, y'all. Good to see you, Justin. We have Trevor, the street market, or 10 street market, excuse me. Looks like y'all are having a vintage hat contest. This is actually a vintage week, so hey, I wish I had some vintage hats.
This is not vintage at all.
We'll show you some vintage hats here in a little bit. I got a couple right here.
Okay. I'm like almost on the last snap right here.
So the great thing about the hat that I'm wearing is that, yes, this is a vintage hat. It's actually a vintage New Era hat, but this is my brand hat. Ben the Vintage Bus.
Oh, that's awesome.
We'll get into that like
a little bit later.
I'm gonna drop this right here. So you guys, if you don't know, you're not following Jeremy on the social medias, all the social medias, he's living out of an travel RV.
Yeah, it's like a travel trailer.
He's traveling the United States looking for this vintage stuff. I mean, he can have a show on A&E, History Channel, whatever, looking for vintage stuff. I can't wait for it. If it ever comes down to it, I'm calling it, man. It's like a TV show for sure.
Let's get it out there.
Yeah, man. We have Crispy Toys and Treasures. He says, what's up, guys? Good to see you, Crispy. Let me know if you're still in Nevada, dude. Because I just picked up some crazy cool vintage snapbacks in an auction in Arizona.
Nice.
That's where he was in Nevada. So, Jeremy, just you talked about how you were selling stuff part-time.
Yeah.
You got that big video game lot, and you quit your job at Jimmy John's. From there, like, did you know a lot about vintage clothing? Like, did you like vintage clothing before you got into it? Like, did you already have a knowledge? And then, like, what made you really, like, dive deep into it? Like, learn how to find stuff and, because people think it's not a full-time job.
Right.
It is. Doing this full-time with a family of 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so when I started doing it full-time and I left my job, I had already had a little bit of a knowledge with the clothing. I didn't have as much knowledge as I do now after 6 years full-time of doing it. But I had friends who were already connected with the clothing and the clothing part of everything of vintage. And so I just continued building friendships and relationships with people who was already involved with the clothing aspect of everything, because I was more so video games, toys, and like collectible type stuff when I started. And I kind of still do that, but at a certain point after like two or so years of doing it full time, I had kind of added clothing in and started picking up clothing pieces at the thrift stores and when I was out picking and digging. And so that kind of became the main part of what I did was the clothing, because it's such a bigger part of what vintage is as a whole. And the toys and the games and stuff kind of became just a small niche of what I did.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part. I think it.
Oh man, you're clear as day now.
Okay.
I can.
Is that better? I changed my microphone.
Yeah, it's way better. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, perfect. I know that Marie says that my mic sounded a little weird, so I went ahead and.
See? I wasn't going crazy. Let's go.
I know you're not, Dustin. I just wanted to make sure that I told you if we had something going on, I'll switch it up. So so that's awesome, Jeremy. I'm glad that you gave us those examples and what you went through. But let's get to our next segment on the show, which is overrated, underrated, which is a lot of people's favorite segment.
Let's do it.
10 different subjects, 5 reselling related, or in this case, vintage reselling related, and 5 not. But before we do that, I have a special announcement, and this is, we are currently sitting at 2,500 subscribers on YouTube, right?
Uh-oh.
Wow.
So I met up with a good friend, Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker. You know, he's really big on YouTube, and he gave me this. He sells these little plush guys right here. These are called Edamans. You know, it's a thing that he does on his YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with it, go over there. But we're gonna be giving these away. I'm gonna be giving this away. He told me, give this away the next time you guys reach a milestone. Give this away. So I'm gonna give this away once we reach 3,000 subscribers. So if you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, guys, go subscribe. We're gonna have a video announcing the giveaway. So you just have to comment on there, and I'm gonna pick somebody at random, and I'm gonna give this away. So you might be saying to yourself, well, why do I want this enema? Like this is what this is. It's a funny story. He also gave me some stickers. So we're going to be giving those out as well, to the winner. But just so people are aware what these things go for on eBay, because he's a big YouTuber. So just to let you guys know, and I'll share my screen here so you guys can see it. Here we go. So he puts them on there in auctions. One sold for $61, another one for $76.
Wow.
$45, $51, $125.
Jeez.
Dang.
So he doesn't put those out often. So somebody's going to be getting this for absolutely nothing, and you can take it, resell it, however you want to do it. But before we give it away, we're gonna have to get 3,000 subscribers. So if you guys know somebody that's interested in reselling, hey, tell them about the Nashville Flippers, and we'll give away Edaman, Stuffy, or whatever you call him. So what do you think about that, Dustin?
I like it. What's the giveaway for your OnlyFans account when it reaches 1K? Did I stump you?
What'd you say? Sorry,
I said, what's going to be the giveaway when we reach 1K on your OnlyFans account?
Oh, man.
It's like Ray's having some issues.
I'm having some technical issues. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
See, I don't have any audio. There we go. All right, I'm back.
Back in business.
Sorry about that, guys.
Come on, Ray.
All right, so we're here. We're back. And of course, guys, before we get into that also, we want to give a shout out to poppingofftoys.com. Jeremy, I don't know if you collect Funko Pops. But
I did for quite a while. I don't anymore.
It's a tough habit. It's hard to keep up with everything.
It is.
But we do want to give a shout out to the sponsor of the podcast. That's poppingofftoys.com. If you guys have not already been to poppingofftoys.com, go over there. If you like Funko Pops, they got a great selection of Funko Pops. They got the Funko Sodas. They just put out these new Iron Maiden Funko Pops. If you're into that, go over to poppingofftoys.com. Use the code Nashville Flippers, and you'll receive 10% off your entire order. So, if you want to save some money, I recommend you go to poppingofftoys.com. So, Jeremy, are you ready for overrated, underrated?
Let's do it, man.
All right. You're up, Dustin. First one up.
Let's go. Overrated, underrated. Cruises.
I'd have to say overrated. Just because I think it's such a pushed market. I think you spend all this money, you get on a boat, and then you go spend, depending on how much you want to spend, I think you can enjoy it, but you can go do anything else and spend less money.
I've never been on a cruise. Dustin, have you been on a cruise before?
Nope, and I don't ever want to.
Yeah.
I have never been on a cruise either, but I have family who've been on cruises, and some have had good experiences and some have had bad experiences.
Okay. Every time I hear somebody that's been on a cruise, they absolutely love it. So I don't know.
I wouldn't mind trying it, but It is expensive.
Yeah, I'm not much of a cruise guy myself, so I'm not gonna
It's
be.
free 99.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Chris was saying, is that his way of not admitting that he has an OnlyFans? That's funny. Let's see here. Refresh Good says, "What's up, Jerem?
What's up,
I
brother?
made a YouTube channel just so I can say what's up." Oh, let's go.
Hey,
That's
awesome.
my boy right there. He's from Atlanta, but he just moved to Illinois, so he came through to show some love.
Oh, nice. Well, appreciate you coming on, brother. Sonny's in the building. Sonny Las Vegas. If you guys haven't subscribed to his channel, make sure you do so. Let's see. We have the Flippin' Sports Guy. He says, "What's up, guys? Good to see you, man. Glad you can come on." So, all right. So next one up, Jeremy, overrated, underrated, selling vintage toys.
Underrated. I
Tell
think
us why.
because obviously I got into this through toys and video games, so I have a big affinity towards the toys and video games, but I think it's underrated because so many people are focused on the clothing aspect of vintage right now. So it's like the primary focus of everyone who's doing this.
Yeah. What? So, do you collect any video games, or you just flip the video games?
It's so difficult to answer that question, man. I have a gigantic collection of things that I'd like to keep, but because I have 4 kids and I have a ton of inventory, it spills over. So I have to be very selective on what I keep for myself. It's called discipline, and I hate it.
I heard that, man. What has been your biggest video game flip?
Oh man, it's crazy. I remember it like it was yesterday. It's a game that I looked for forever. It was a Super Nintendo game. Gosh, what is the name of it, dude? I'm trying to put it in my head. I know what it's called.
Could you describe the
It's
video game?
It's an RPG. It's an RPG video game that's very popular on Super Nintendo.
Was it Secret of Mana or anything like that?
It's closely related to that. It's not Secret of Mana. I can't pinpoint it in my head, but I bought it. I went in a thrift store one day, and I'd been looking for the game forever. I just never ended up coming across it. And this one thrift store I went into has a downstairs layer of their store, and it's where all their video games are. And I went down there thinking, I haven't found any clothes. I haven't found anything in the last couple hours. So I was like, as you're digging and picking, you got to keep reminding yourself, all right, you're going to find something. You're going to find something. Yeah. Dude, I walked up on the case, dug through some of the PS2 games, and then I kind of got over to the cartridge video games where they have them. And there was a game, Super Nintendo game, just sitting right in front of me. It was $4.99. I bought it, and I was freaking out that I had it in my hand and that it was $5. And I bought it that day, listed it the next day or that night, put it up, listed it, and I think I sold it for $149.99.
That's awesome. Was it Earthbound? Refresh Good says Earthbound. What about
it might have been Earthbound. I think it was. He probably remembers me posting it.
Earthbound or Chrono Trigger. That's what
Chrono Trigger. That's what it was. Chrono
Trigger?
Trigger. That's exactly what it was. I had been looking for Chrono Trigger for 2 years. Wow. And I'd never seen it in the wild. And when I found it, I was mind blown because it was one of those games that you just don't come across that often. And it was
It's funny you mentioned the prices because, Christmas is just over. And my wife has been, taking all the Christmas stuff down and putting it in bins and putting it in the garage. And when that happens, I get a little antsy and anxious because stuff is, unorganized, and then all my inventory's in the garage.
Right.
And then I was digging through a bin and I have all my old Super NES games, and some of them still have the Goodwill price tag on them. Before they went to the scan code, it just said and dude, I have some of them were 99 cents, $1.99, and I'm just wow, that's crazy. I wish I would have just picked all that stuff up when it was so cheap. Now it's you'll be lucky to find a game that's even worth anything,
I did find another one recently in a Goodwill. It was probably 3 months ago at a Goodwill I walked into, and it was a Wii game. And I try not to buy a ton of Wii games just because there's certain Wii games that are just really hard to sell. Wii is a very it's a popular console just because it was very popular in its time, but there's not a ton of games now that are worth a ton of money for the Wii. So I was like real apprehensive when I picked it up, but then it was a Metroid game. And so I picked it up.
Fusion or something like that.
Yeah, it was like a 3-in-1 type of deal. And it was in a metal box. And if you know anything about metal boxes, metal boxes are always worth a little bit more money because they're collector's editions. And I picked it up. It had the manuals and everything in it. And so I kind of comped it on the spot. I don't like doing that a lot just because I don't like being that guy in the thrift store. But I kind of wanted to know roundabout what it was going to go for if I picked it up. So I picked it up and I scanned it. And I was like, wait a second. And it was like going on eBay for like $1 to like $150. And I paid $5 for it.
Yeah. I know Justin, he tells the story all the time of when he found the GameCube game. I don't know if you want to tell it again, Dustin, because it's one of my favorite stories.
So it was like back-to-back weeks. So I remember, one week I went in. This was like probably right during COVID when it first started. It was like that March probably, or maybe after when stuff started opening and Goodwills were open and stuff. So I went in there, found a bunch of GameCube games one week, and there's a bunch of Resident Evil games.
Ooh.
I can't remember which one it was, but I sold one.
Nemesis.
Oh, Nemesis.
Yeah, okay. So it was right around $100. Sold it. I was like, this is my top game I've sold for that much, and I got it for $2.99. And then the next week I go in there, found some more GameCube games. And one was called Spirits and Spells.
Okay.
And sold that for almost $200.
Sheesh.
Never even heard of the game before. Never.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you've never heard of it, it's probably going to be worth a little bit of money. I can tell you that right now.
Exactly. And it was.
So there you go, guys. That's the key right there. And I know there's some sports games that are worth a lot. So don't sleep on the sports games because they could be worth some good money.
It's getting harder now at Goodwills. I feel like because I heard they're paying people to go through their stuff now to pick out the high dollar games and even high dollar vintage clothing.
Yep.
So it's hard.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's move on to number 3, Dustin.
Number 3, overrated, underrated, flavored popcorn.
Flavored popcorn.
That's random, right?
Like caramel corn or like cheddar popcorn. I don't know. I got to say it's underrated.
Okay. Have you ever had any of those really weird flavors like buffalo wings or like dill or?
I've had dill popcorn. Yeah, I've never had buffalo wing popcorn, but I'll try anything once.
Okay. But dude, those, like if you guys want to send me something for Christmas, those real cheap popcorn tins, dude, that's me all day. Like I'll just scrounge it.
It's the gift that keeps
smash
on
it.
giving.
Well, popcorn's a pretty healthy snack, unless you start adding sugar and stuff to it.
Oh yeah. And then I don't know if you've been to Illinois in Chicago. There's these Garrett's popcorn, and it's caramel corn with cheddar mixed, and that stuff is like unbelievable. I've never it's awesome. So there we go. Just try dill popcorn. It wasn't that bad. There you go. So
I'm a pickle fan, so I'll try anything with dill on it.
Oh, nice.
Hey, but you probably drink the pickle juice too, don't you?
Pickle juice?
You drink the pickle juice too?
I grew up drinking pickle juice, but I don't do it as often as I used to.
I had a buddy, college, man. I think he still might do it. He just drinks out of the jar. I'm like, dude, nope, not for me.
I can do that.
Okay.
That's funny that you mentioned pickle juice, Dustin, because today we were at the grocery store, and I forgot that they sell this, but I do I'm fixing to take my black belt test in Krav Maga, which is a martial arts. And when you take the black belt test, it's a 4-hour long test, and you're doing everything. It's physically it's really hard on your body, and a lot of people cramp up. And some pickle brand, they make these little shots that are 5-hour energy, but they're like pickle juice that you can take. And they're supposed to help you not cramp and just help you.
Pickle juice in general will do that.
So it's who would have thought,
It has a lot of electrolytes in it, apparently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go, guys. Pickle juice, baby. Pickle juice.
With Gatorade.
Gatorade and pickle juice. We have Shay, the MD picker. She just jumped on. Good to see you, Shay. She says, dill pickle chips are the bomb.
Yes, sir.
I like some dill pickle chips. All right, so let's move on. Overrated, underrated, number 4. Jeremy, the Goodwill bins.
I would say they are overrated. And the only reason I say that is because I've been doing this for quite a while. So I've been to multiple different Goodwill bins, and I've sourced a lot of stuff out of Goodwill bins, but it's a shot in the dark every time you walk in there. There's no telling what you're going to find, and there's no promise of you finding anything. And if you're really a picker, you can go a million other places and find a million other things.
So why not the Goodwill bin? Do you think that you're like the time management is?
I think that it's the time management. If you go to a Goodwill bins and you sit there for 8 hours, you could end up walking out with 8 pieces, or you could walk out with 80 pieces. It depends on how hard you want to find something. You know, like I've spent hours in Goodwill bins. I've spent days in Goodwill bins, but sometimes I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. You know, I'd like to spend 8 hours here waiting and trying to find it, find stuff. Or I can go drive down, a road for an hour and a half and find way more stuff.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of people, Dustin and I, we go into the Amazon bins.
Yeah, I've seen your videos.
So, and a lot of people, they say, you've never been to the Goodwill bins? You've never been in the Goodwill? Like, I've been to the Goodwill bins for the first time the other week when Kevin, the Commonwealth picker, stopped by. And he's never been to the Goodwill bins either. And he does it full time, And then the reason why I think Dustin and I don't go is because we can go to the Amazon bins and be there for like 2 hours at the most. And we can come out with some days it's like we come out with like $3,000 in net profit. You know what I mean? So it's like, why am I going to be, it's like the chances of me finding something that's over $100 t-shirt, like what are the chances of that? You know what I mean? And
yeah, I mean, that's the reality.
Stuff like that.
A lot of people don't go to the bins for Grail shirts anyway, to be honest. They go for mid stuff. They go there to get, stuff that's going to sell quick.
Oh, okay. So where do you get all the majority of your inventory?
I buy a lot of stuff online.
Okay.
Yeah, there's multiple sources online that I buy from, but there's also, I've made a lot of connections doing this for so long.
Okay.
So.
Nice. Is there any tips I'm finding that you're willing to share that you might not give away all your secrets, of course, because some of us have my own things, or our own thing.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you're trying to find, and I don't know. I don't want to say too much, but I don't want to not say stuff. You know what I mean?
Fine. I respect that for sure. So we'll move on. We have hey, he says, how do I find Amazon bins near us? The best way that I've found, of course, go to your Google, type in liquidation stores, Amazon liquidation stores, or just go to Facebook and type it in, like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, and it should pop up. And do your research, find out which ones are good and which ones, suck. There's somebody who was telling me last week, Dustin, when you weren't there, he usually drives, he lives in Kentucky, drives to West Virginia, and he pays $20 to even get in the store. But he says he comes out with like $5,000 and stuff like every time he goes.
Where's the store at?
I have it like saved on my Facebook. It's in West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out West Virginia.
I gotta be guaranteed some stuff. Guaranteed to drive.
Yeah. So, Adam says my guest this week is big fan of the bin. So if you guys want to check his channel out, it's going to be on Wednesday on Adam's channel. So check that out for sure. Drew says, "What's up? Rachel and I are here. Good to see you, Drew. Glad that you guys can make it." Let's see here. The Crystal Bear says, "Just found your channel. Happy to see more flippers in Nashville." Crystal, we need to get together. We need to hang out. You know, I love finding. I love interacting with more resellers, especially in the Nashville area. So let's move on. Overrated, underrated, number 5, Dustin.
Number 5, Spider-Man.
Underrated.
Yes, sir.
Number one reason is because that's probably one of my favorite superheroes in the Marvel universe.
Okay. Can it be your favorite superhero in general?
No, Captain America is probably my favorite.
Okay.
But Spider-Man is like the second.
Okay. Nice. I'm curious to know what everyone's favorite superhero is. Put it down in the chat. Dustin, what would you
comments?
What's that?
No, I was saying people drop the comments. Let's go.
Yeah, drop it. Let's see it. What about you, Dustin? Hey, my nephew, Dustin's little boy, and I'm sure you're the same way with your kids, Jeremy. He's got like every superhero costume imaginable, and he wears them like all the time.
Yeah, my sons I have 2 boys and 2 girls, and they are like dress up fanatics.
There you go. All the time.
The Flash, the Flash is underrated in my opinion too.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I love that answer.
That's good for sure.
It's a great movie though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, can't wait for this virus to settle down. I wanted to see Spider-Man in the theater.
I just went to see Spider-Man here in Georgia over the holidays, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's good. No spoilers.
No spoilers. I'm not going to do that.
I've seen it.
It was a great movie.
Yeah, it's great. I would say top three Marvel movies, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
So we got Crystal Bear. She says Spider-Man. Wolverine.
Yes. Batman's great. I like Batman too.
I think Wolverine's a little underrated. I mean, he can heal himself.
Yeah, he's very underrated.
Like people forget about that. So, all right, let's move on. Number 6, overrated, underrated. Selling denim, vintage denim.
At this point, I would have to say it's overrated because if you notice there's trends that pop up within different communities, denim has become a huge trend with the vintage community. A lot of people who sell vintage in general have started buying and selling denim. And I like denim, but I don't sell a lot of it because, first of all, it's a bigger thing to know about. And if you don't understand the right types of denim to sell, then you're just buying random stuff for no reason. But I think it's overrated just because so many people have started picking up on that type of trend.
Okay. So what would be the good denim to buy?
You got to look for big E's, man. And if you don't know what that means, you got to figure it out.
There we go. And we're not talking about Big E, the WWE.
Not from
wrestler.
WWE, no.
So we're talking about the Big E on the, and they're starting to remake the Big E.
They are totally redoing it, so it's making it a lot more difficult to figure out what you need to buy.
Yeah. So we have Alan just popped on. He said, "What's up, Alan? Good to see you. Glad you can stop by." So real quick, Jeremy, we touched this a little bit before we went live, but I don't know if a lot of people are aware, but I've seen rumblings. I've seen like small articles. I haven't really done my research, but so companies like Levi's and some other companies, they're doing this thing to where they're not letting certain people sell their vintage stuff because they're quote unquote unauthorized sellers. So some people have actually had their stuff taken down. So Ben or Jeremy, I don't know if you want to like touch that on, a little bit. And I know it could be scary for a lot of clothing resellers because they want to sell vintage. And if you can't sell old Levi's, because like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. So some of the bigger brands are starting to kind of get involved with reselling their older product. So they're basically trying to find all their older inventory. And if you dig hard enough, you can find places and just like bigger spots and warehouses and stuff that still house a ton of these older inventories. And that's where a lot of these people who are picking and digging will end up coming up on like gigantic lots of stuff. I don't foresee it being a gigantic problem just because it's still early And a lot of these big box stores aren't making their money off of vintage yet because the community, as a large part of what we're doing, is mainly controlled by people like me and other people who come on your show, because like we created this wave of vintage, and to be honest, it sounds bad, but we control it, and that's a good thing for people like us as resellers, because bigger box stores are going to continue making new clothes. They're going to continue, the bigger brands are going to continue making new fast fashion clothes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's good info. And like you were saying, it's kind of like the one, it's very, I wouldn't, this is kind of like not a bad, but a terrible analogy or comparison. It's kind of like very punk rock, to where it's like,
Right.
You like the people that are trying to sell you this stuff, we're like, well, we don't want it because you're trying to sell it to us. We want something else. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like it's like people want the cool thing, and if something is popular, quote unquote, it's not gonna be popular. You know what I mean?
I think especially with our economy, the way that it's been and the way that it's right now, people who are involved in this culture, the resale culture, the vintage culture, and like just the collecting culture in general, they want to support small business. They don't want to support all these gigantic box chain stores who have been around for years doing the same thing every single year. They want to support small businesses. That's my point. You know what I mean? They want to support people who are working their butts off to make a living for themselves.
Got that right. I mean, that's like, when's the last time someone ate at Chili's? I'm not like,
I don't like Chili's at all.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, why am I going to go to Chili's if I can go to like the mom and pop Mexican restaurant or the mom and pop burger place that
Right.
makes a burger that's like not microwaved?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like it's the same thing.
100%.
So, all right. So let's move on to number 7.
Lucky 7. Overrated, underrated. Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. Oh man, he's hilarious, but I think he's overrated. And I think he's gotten so popular to this point that he's just like a part of culture now.
Yeah.
Like, he's hilarious, but I liked him earlier on in his career, and now he's doing the talk show thing, and it's just, I don't know, he's weird now.
Yeah, he's kind of got like sold out, kind of like this corporate, kind of thing. So I agree. I would agree with you on that. I didn't see this comment earlier. It says, Adam, destroyed denim sells very well. The rest I have trouble selling. I don't know what that last part.
I don't know.
I think mostly mall brands. I find mostly mall brands.
Yeah, that's what he meant to say.
I think what he's trying to. Okay.
Time to cut some jeans and sell them.
Yeah. I don't know if Shay is on here, but for some reason, and I don't know if you can touch on this, Jeremy, mud jeans have been selling really well lately.
Mud jeans are definitely popular within the girls' culture of vintage for sure, just because it's like that nostalgia for the girls.
It's weird.
Isn't that crazy, Dustin?
Like, go buy you some jeans at Walmart. Go to a construction site. Go get you some dirt and rub it on. I got mud jeans in my closet. I mean, come on. I didn't pay top dollar. I paid like $20 for the jeans at Walmart. Let's go.
It's funny because Dustin, he works for a construction builder. He sells homes and stuff like that. And Dustin's, he's in workwear. He's in Carhartts.
Oh, workwear sells great.
He's got a Carhartts on, but it's weird seeing like these, like
it's popping up.
Like seeing these like hipsters wear Carhartts, and then it's like, well,
it's definitely weird.
I wear this every day. I must be hip,
right? Dustin's hip. He's hip to it for sure. Like we got like all these Nashville girls like wearing the Carhartt beanies. I don't know if it's like that in Atlanta.
It's everywhere,
but it's
it's
so
definitely
weird.
Everywhere.
You know what I mean? I know last week or the other week I was watching the season finale of Yellowstone, the cowboy show or whatever.
Sponsored
and the dude had a red Carhartt jacket on, and I've never seen a red one.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's dope. And I immediately went to eBay and tried to find one my size. And there was one that was like all tattered and stained. And
like
they still wanted like $200 to $300.
Yeah, trust me, it's crazy.
That's why I got this one I found at a garage sale a couple years ago. It's just the tan regular color, but sure, I got it for $20. I'm keeping that sucker.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in great shape, but if I ever want to get a new one, I'm gonna sell that sucker on eBay.
Oh yeah. Is there any other workwear brands that sell well in the vintage community?
Yeah, there's a couple. Wall is one of them, like Vintage Wall.
Okay.
There's I'm trying to think of the other one. It's more like a camo workwear, but it's like tree bark type stuff from back in the day. What is it?
Okay.
Mossy Oak kind of pops up here and there, but like it's got to be like a really good camo from Mossy Oak back in like the 80s and 90s.
But isn't tree bark a brand? Isn't it spelled weird, like tree?
Trebark.
Okay, so it's like a. Mm-hmm. Is it a brand or is it the certain kind of pattern?
No, well, it's like the pattern for the brand. Yeah, they just use it as a pattern. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
I heard that
I don't know.
else.
I think Carhartt is like the main workwear that people like, just because it got so mainstream. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like Carhartt in Australia and a couple of other countries is actually more like streetwear than it is workwear.
And like Japan and stuff, right?
Yeah. So they've got a brand called
separated.
Yeah, so they've got a brand called Carhartt WIP Work in Progress, and what they're doing with that is they're using it more as like streetwear couture type stuff, and so they're building that brand around the Carhartt there.
Wow, Carhartt
Work in Progress. Yeah,
I'm gonna pull up some examples so everyone can see it.
That's interesting.
They have a whole page for it on Instagram.
Here we have it here. Wow, some of this stuff is, oh man, this is nice.
Yeah, like you see how that's like the double knee jeans, but it's a jacket.
Look at that.
Like that's crazy to me. But Carhartt's doing it, man.
So
their brand, the way that they're branding and that's 10 times different than what you're gonna find here in America for sure. I mean, you'll probably find some stuff like that in America, but the way that they're creating the brand is insane.
That is insane.
They're killing it.
Well, there you go, guys. Carhartt WIP.
Like I would totally wear that too.
That's so nice. $185, guys. So there you go. Marie was saying that mud jeans fit well, so I guess that's why they sell so good. It's because Carhartt is at CMA. Wonder if that's like the channel that he's referring to. They opened up a Carhartt store 5 minutes from me about 2 years ago. That's awesome.
I've never seen a Carhartt store here.
Yeah,
there's a couple out here.
That's awesome. Let's see here. Even discounted, it's pricey. Yeah, can see that for sure. I have a hat and socks somewhere in storage I got from free at C. What is CMA?
Probably the CMA Fest.
Okay, didn't know that was a big thing. Got to get that on eBay. Oh yeah, there you go.
Huh.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So overrated, underrated, number 8. We started off with Jimmy Fallon on the last one, and we ended up talking about Carhartt. So I don't know how that happened.
I love it.
I don't know how that happened. He said Country Music Fest. Okay, cool. I thought that's what it was. All right. Selling Harley Davidson clothing. Overrated or underrated?
Oh, that's hard.
As the bubble popped.
I would say yes at this point. It's probably overrated.
Okay.
I mean, I still like. It's funny you say that because I've got a Harley Sturgis shirt sitting right here in front of me in my personal collection. But this is the only Harley tee that I wear around. But it's because I got it from a friend, and it fits me well. But I don't really sell a lot of Harley stuff unless it's like I've sold a pair of Harley boots. Mm-hmm. And I got them at the bins for a great deal, so I flipped them for a profit. But I just don't pick up Harley stuff that often because the customer base that I've built just doesn't wear Harley.
Okay, That makes sense.
But I do know some people who will like, have some selection of it in their stuff, but it just doesn't tend to move that well from what I know.
Okay. That's interesting. Maybe it's more like not necessarily like Harley shirts, but like you said, boots and things that you need to actually ride the Harley.
I think accessories in general, like belts or like boots and stuff like that, will definitely make you money.
Nice. Okay. All right. So let's move on to number 9, Dustin.
Number 9. This one's interesting. Overrated, underrated, slippers, house shoes, or chanclas?
Oh man, I wear all those.
Right, go.
When you say chocolates, you're talking about slipper or like slides?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're all the same though.
What about just slippers or house shoes? Well, give us a difference.
I mean, slides I would say are underrated because I think a lot of I understand why you brought this topic up because a lot of people wear slides, but slides have become so increasingly amazing over the last 3 to 4 years. They're making them in 10 times better quality. So I would say they're underrated. House shoes, probably overrated just because, when you're at home, you don't want to wear anything and you just want to put some house shoes on. But, why not?
What about slippers?
Slippers.
You can get your Hugh Hefner on, throw some velvet slippers on.
Nah, they're probably overrated.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. That's like 3 different categories.
I know, right? Yeah. All right. So let's move on. Number 10, last one up. Overrated, underrated, garage sales.
Underrated.
All right.
I mean, if you're not in the thrift store, you got to be at the garage sale picking, bro.
Do you get a lot of stuff at garage sales? Have you gotten?
Oh
have
man,
you had some pretty good
I source 100 million garage sales a year. Maybe not that exact number, but up there.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. 100 million.
I mean, dude, when it's nice outside, and I'm not at a thrift store, I'm picking at a yard sale somewhere.
It's nice. What's the best thing you've ever found at a yard sale?
I bought like a whole lady's rack of clothes one time at a yard sale.
Really?
And I was like, yeah, what do you want for everything? And she's like, $50. I was like, dude, let's go.
So what was on that rack that you wanted the whole rack?
There was like a couple NASCAR tees. There was some hats hanging on top, like some jackets. It was a lot of stuff.
Okay, nice. So it's like all like NASCAR related stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Oh, hey, $50, man. I would have jumped on that all day too.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the value off the top when I was looking at everything. I didn't even have to look it up or anything. It was like at a certain point, doing it as long as you see certain stuff and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna buy that.
Okay, nice. Well, Jeremy, that concludes our overrated, underrated segment of the show. Thank you so much for answering those questions. Definitely. And everybody in the chat. Thank you for playing along. And again, guys, if you want to follow Jeremy on all his reselling vintage adventures, all of his information is down in the description below. And if you want to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we do want to give away this right here, this Edaman. So do that for sure. But guys, if you want to support us, Dustin and I, the best way to do that is in the description. We have our merch store where we sell all of our merch. And Dustin, I know that you're going to get on me, but I haven't put up the new iPhone cases on here yet.
Gosh.
So hey, it's coming. It's coming.
Hey,
so
iPhone 6 are vintage. So
there you go. So if you want to buy and purchase if you want to buy or purchase a flip hoodie, a flip t-shirt, or Dustin's favorite phrase, his patent pending phrase, risk it for the biscuit t-shirts, they're available here. And my favorite here, this is one of my favorite t-shirts. It's inspired by Kanye's I Feel Like Pablo t-shirt.
That's a dope one. I saw it.
Where it says, I feel like reselling on the front, and on the back it says, catch you on the flip side, Nashville. And it's got the TriStar logo.
Go back and look at those phone cases. You can get a Galaxy S4 case.
Let's see. I'm curious to know what it was. Hey, look, Dustin, they already got them on here. Look
Oh,
at that. You
okay.
can pick and
Okay.
choose, baby.
They just got the pictures of the old cases. I
Mhm.
got you.
Pick and choose. There you go.
Like it.
So we
I
have mugs, hoodies, stickers, anything that you may want, guys. It's in our merch store. And if you happen to purchase something, let us know. Post it on your social media. We'll make sure to tag us, and we'll put it out there. So thank you so much for that, guys. So Jeremy,
Yes, sir.
we got another segment on the show. This is turning into my favorite segment.
I think it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's called Flip or Skip. We're going to show you 3 different items, and you tell us if you see it at a garage sale, if you see it at a thrift store and estate sale, are you flipping, which means buying it and then reselling it, or are you skipping, which means you're not doing anything at all? You're throwing it away or doing whatever you want to do. And guys, the people in the chat, let me know what you're doing. So we're going to show you 3 different things. And let's get to the first one here. Let me make sure I pull up the right one. And here we go. So I'm only going to show you a picture, Jeremy.
Okay.
And then from there, we'll you let me
Open
know.
it up.
All
Yeah.
right?
Let's go.
All right. Let's do it. Let's do this. All righty. So, Jeremy, are you flipping or are you skipping?
Skipping.
You're skipping. All right. So the people that might be listening to this, we are showing Jeremy a Dale Earnhardt 2001 Monte Carlo model. It's one of 15,000, so it is numbered. It's a die-cast car. I don't know the scale, but he says he's skipping. Tell me why, Ben. Jeremy, why are you skipping?
I've never had good luck selling diecast, to be honest, man. Especially like NASCAR related diecast, it just doesn't move well.
Okay. What about you, Dustin? What are you doing? You skipping or are you flipping?
I flip it.
You flipping?
That collected Dale Earnhardt Jr. stuff. I probably flip it, maybe.
Okay. We got Adrian on here. He says he's skipping, but Marie's saying she's flipping. So, all right.
50.
So we'll see. Let's see, guys. So this one did sell for $16.50. So Ben or Jeremy, you were correct by skipping this. And here's a quick tip for everybody, guys. If something is made to be collectible, it's probably not worth a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true.
What did you say, Jeremy?
Yeah, for sure.
But me saying that, there's always exceptions to the rule. So I'm pulling this up. This is in part, but I wanted to show you guys this. This car sold for $999.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the reason why I think is because exactly.
It's probably a rare variant.
Limited edition, adult collectible.
Adult.
That's what it says. That's what it says on the box. 1 out of 100.
Yeah, so it's definitely more limited than the other one.
And this one says elite, so I don't know if that's something special. It comes with a gold coin.
Huh.
So I don't know if that's the reason. And it does say gold chrome. So, means, me saying that, don't buy things that are made to be collectibles. There's always going to be exceptions to the rules. You just got to know what to buy, What do you think about that, Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. There's definitely stuff out there. Just because it's collectible doesn't mean it's not going to sell. Like, there's definitely stuff you want to make sure you kind of look at before you decide. And then, sometimes you just got to make an educated guess.
There you go. I like that. All right, so next one up. Skip or flip? Jeremy, you skipping or you flipping? Let me know.
Flipping all day long.
So for the people that are listening to this, this is a snapback hat. It's a Dale Earnhardt Wrangler snapback
3-stripe
hat. And it says, if you can't run with the big dogs, stay on the porch. You say 3 stripes, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Tell us, like you said, 3 stripes. What's going on?
Yeah,
with
I mean,
Three
if you
Stripes?
look directly at the hat, you know, you can see the Dale Earnhardt image. You can see the writing on it, and then if you look on the sides of the hat, right here, you're looking at it. It's got the 3 stripes on it. That's a dead giveaway for an easy flip anywhere in America, or across the country. And it says "Made in USA" on it, so you know it's vintage already. And Dale Earnhardt's one of the most popular NASCAR drivers there ever was that existed. He's my favorite NASCAR driver. So.
So why are the 3 stripes so important? Is this like an Adidas thing? Like what's going
No,
on
it has
here?
nothing to do with Adidas. It's just the type of trucker hat that it is. They made 3 stripes back in the 80s and the 90s. And, you know, Dale Earnhardt 3 stripes, you just don't come by them too often. So if somebody got their hands on that and they got it for a good price, you're going to make a good amount of money on it.
Okay. What do you think, Dustin? You flipping or you skipping?
For sure. Flip.
Flip?
I honestly, I'd probably keep it before I sold it.
It's that valuable, you think?
Well, I like Dale Earnhardt, and I like 3 stripe trucker hats.
That is pretty dope.
Okay. So now, so let's see here. Let's see what the audience is saying. We have Adrian says, I would flip that just for the uniqueness of it. Fresh Good says, raise hail, praise Dale.
Hey.
And Fresh Good says, flipping. Marisa sees she's flipping. Alan's flipping. So it looks like a lot of people are flipping. So
yeah,
are you guys staying with your answer?
That hat probably sold for $300.
All right, let's see. All right, so this hat sold for $635.
Exactly.
There you go, guys. So you were right on the money.
I was under the money.
So the 3 stripes, Jeremy, that's something to dead on look for. 3 stripes.
Yeah, I mean it's a dead giveaway for, you know, hats. But I will say this: don't just go buying every 3 stripe hat you find, because at the end of the day, you know, there's reasons why certain 3 stripe trucker hats are more popular. Obviously, this is a Dale Earnhardt 3 stripe trucker hat. Dale Earnhardt was a gigantic part of the 80s and 90s racing, and at the end of the day, you just got to know what you're looking for. But look for 3 stripes that, you know, you can make money on.
Okay. Nice. Hey, Fresh Good says Jeremy's putting y'all on game. That's why we love having guests on the show, because we're learning something. We are learning something for sure. So Adrian says, yikes, nice. So there you go, guys. There you go. So we have one more, Jeremy.
Let's do it.
For skip or flip. Let me know what you think. Are you skipping or are you flipping? Did I get this one right? I think so. Make sure I bring up the right one.
Oh, you're good, brother.
All right, here we go. Gotcha. All right, let me know, guys, in the comments. Are you skipping or are you flipping? All right. So here we have a Dale Earnhardt Jr. Cabbage Patch doll. Brand new in the package. It's the National Guard sponsor on it.
I'll be honest. I probably would buy that for the right price to flip it. Majority of the time, I don't buy Cabbage Patch, but since it's a specific Cabbage Patch doll, it's a Dale Earnhardt. It looks pretty good, you know, in condition. I'd probably buy it and sell it.
What would be a good price that you feel comfortable purchasing this Cabbage Patch doll?
To be honest, I probably wouldn't pay more than $10 for that.
Okay. All right.
Because it's probably not going to sell for more than 30 or 40.
Okay. So that's not bad. So skipping or are you flipping? It sounds like you're flipping for the right price.
I'm flipping.
Okay. For the right price. What about you, Dustin?
I'm going to skip it.
You're skipping?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what the people are saying. Marie's saying skip. Fresh Goods is saying skip. Adrian is saying skip only because it's not something I would look for. Okay. All right. So here we go. What do you think, guys? Big money or no money?
Nah, it's not huge money.
All right. It sold for $5.99.
Yeah, that was like my first intuition.
So there is nobody out there that wants a Dale Earnhardt Jr. Cabbage Patch doll. So, all
At
right.
least not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet. No.
Yeah. Exactly. So, guys, there you have it. That is Skip or Flip. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for playing. And that was fun, guys. Now you know.
Yeah, that was dope.
3 stripes, trucker hats, worth some big money. So, all right. So, Jeremy, we're at an hour, but I think we're gonna go a little bit over because I think we're having some good conversation here.
Okay.
And you were telling me that you brought some examples of some nice vintage stuff.
I've got. So what I'm gonna do is
what you got, my man.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk real quick if you don't mind about these hats I got in front of me that are my brand hats. And I'm looking to move them. I had a 2020 run hats. This was one of them. I ended up keeping this one for my personal, just to kind of wear it around, promote the brand. But these are all vintage hats that I have that I turned into my bin vintage hats. Like this one is a pinstripe New Era. And so you got the logo right there, which is, if you don't know what this logo is, you're probably crazy and you didn't grow up in the 90s.
Right.
If you can tell me what it is, Ray, I'll give you a hug when I see you.
Magic School Bus, baby.
Magic School Bus. So basically,
let's go.
This is my logo, but it's turned into yellow in the Magic School Bus logo. And then on the side, you've got 86 because my Instagram handle has been vintage 86. And then on the back, it says we've all been vintage, which is kind of like a catchphrase that I've just kind of dubbed, for my brand. So we've got some hats here. I've got some gray ones. These are all different. They've got different 86 numbers or colors on them.
Uh-huh.
And then you've got the logo on the front, and then on the back of there, it says that as well. And then you've got a couple different ones. I'll go through them real quick. You've got some blue bill ones, and then you got one turquoise left.
Ooh, I like that.
And then this one's pretty cool. This is like a trucker hat. These are all vintage, hand selected by me. Then you got this one, which is like that nice trucker style hat. And then on the back, it also says we've all been vintage. And then these are the best ones, which is crazy to me. I've had so much love and support on these since I posted them, but I still have all 6 of them. These are vintage Olympics, different country hats. So this one, you've got United Kingdom. You got the logo on the front, and then on the back, you've got the countries where it says a country across the back. And then on the side, you've got a block style where it says we've all been vintage.
That's sick.
I like it.
So we've got United Kingdom, we've got Venezuela, and the hats are crazy. They're just, amazing condition. They're all brand new. And then you've got Germany, Deutschland. And then you've got, this is Russia. That's just, I guess, how they spell Russia in Russia. Then you've got Ireland.
Oh,
and
that was
then
cool.
We've also got Italy.
Oh, man.
So all these hats, you can go to Instagram. You can buy them directly through my Instagram. It's just DM me. They're all $40 shipped. Not crazy.
40?
Not expensive. $40 shipped to your door. You can get any one of those.
Will they fit my big head, my big A head?
Yeah, dude. So this one right here is a vintage New Era, and this is probably on the second to last snap. And it fits my head. I wear like a 7.5 to 7 5/8, and they fit my head fine. This is also one of the Italy hats. That's on the second snap right there, and it's got room on my head.
Okay.
So they definitely are big head approved. But yeah, $40, not that expensive. I try to make my products still affordable. But
can we look at the trucker ones again?
Yeah.
Let's look at the trucker ones again.
That's clean.
So these are all limited. There's only these ones that I showed you are left, and that's it. And then I'm going to be making a new batch of hats for the new year.
Oh, man.
But let's get into some vintage stuff real quick, because these were all...
Throw me some pictures afterwards. I'll buy one.
Hey, I got you, brother. No worries. All right, so I'm gonna start with some stuff that got me into vintage, and that's toys.
Okay.
And if you know what I'm about to show you. If you don't, then you missed out on your childhood. We got vintage Power Rangers. These are the
I know I had those. I know
this one is the punch action. I don't know if the punch works anymore on this
Sitting
guy,
in church and playing
but
with those.
you got the Red Ranger, and then on this one you got the chop action,
Hey,
Blue
judo chop.
Ranger, and then we've got the villains as well.
Oh man,
Which these are different. You don't really find these that often. I
Slept
did
on.
thrift these. All this stuff I thrifted. Like I think this is like the piranha guy, and then you got the rat guy. So we've got those guys, and then we'll get into some of this back here. This is stuff I grew up on right here, bro. So like when I find stuff like this at sales or thrifts, I go a little crazy on the inside. Vintage Ninja Turtles parachute.
Oh,
In the box. It doesn't have the paperwork, but it has the box, which makes it easily more desirable. We got that guy, and then we've got. Now this one right here is a little off the wall. We've got Beetlejuice. If you don't know about Beetlejuice, you're crazy, because Beetlejuice is definitely one of the like older characters from movies and stuff back in the day. But this is a Vanishing Vault. I actually had this toy when I was a kid.
That's sweet.
that's cool.
So
And it's in the
I'm
box.
really excited. I actually still have this, in the box. And then I'll show you some other shirts and stuff real quick. These shirts just sold on eBay, believe it or not. And I'll tell you
What about
why.
that Megazord behind you?
Oh yeah, I was gonna get that here too. This is a vintage Megazord in the box with all the stuff that you need to connect it. This is actually going up on my eBay here pretty soon. I've had it for a while. I kind of had it for display in my office for a while, and I just don't have room for it anymore. So now I'm gonna flip it.
That's
I had
nice.
that
I'll
as-
you. you.
I should have kept that. I had that as a kid.
And then we've got the White
Here,
Tiger
check this
Zord.
out, Jeremy. If I can, we can see it. See that right there?
Oh yeah, up there. I see that. Are those the remakes or those originals?
No, those are old G's right there.
Yes, sir. Well, if you need this one for the set, man, let me know.
I got it. The
White Tiger
It took me a
Zord.
while to find it.
With the White Ranger in the box. You see him right there. Yeah, so that's the toy side of everything. Oh, I just also picked this up. I wanted to show this on live. This is a Crash Test Racing pinball machine.
Ooh.
Can't get my angle right. From 1999. And yes, it works.
That's awesome. That's a banjo. Was it banjo? What was that?
Well, no, it's Crash from
Crash. That's right.
So these shirts just sold on eBay. I had them listed on my website, and they sold on eBay way faster than they sold on my website. So run his phone sideways to make his picture bigger. Oh, thanks for that. But we've got this all over print San Jose Sharks crazy t-shirt, single stitch all over. It is a Magic Johnson t-shirt. And if you don't know about Magic Johnson tees, you can see the quality in these are amazing. The graphics on these are phenomenal, and that's why they're desirable, because they're, they just look great. But this sold on eBay. Can anybody guess how much this sold for on eBay?
150.
That is exactly what it sold for. 150 plus shipping.
Okay. Now so Magic Johnson is a like sportswear brand?
Yeah, so basically Magic Johnson had his own line of t-shirts back in the 90s, and they just made crazy all over print t-shirts.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So we've got another one of the same brand, Magic Johnson tee. You see it right there. This one is the USA 1992 Gold Rush. You got Magic Johnson himself right there. And then on the other side, you got the infamous Michael Jordan.
Oh,
that's got to be over two. Over two.
Yeah,
Easy.
and this I listed and sold the same day as the other one. The same person who bought this one. He paid $300 plus shipping for this.
The dude dropping dough.
Yeah.
So I just sold those. I've got to pack those up tomorrow and get those shipped out to the guy. But those just sold. And then if you've probably noticed, there's this guy that's been hanging behind me. I thrifted this. This is a 2003 M&M shirt.
Yes, sir.
Size extra large. And it's pretty much in dead stock condition. So
and that's like a legit, like not a reprint. Like
no,
legit.
yeah, this is dated down here, right here. 2003 from the tour that he did at Ford Field, or the concert that he did. And it's pretty much brand new. The person who had it just never wore it and ended up getting rid of it. So I thrifted it for $299.
Oh.
And this is listed on my website, I believe, for $200.
God.
So let's get into this. You're a wrestling fan, so I have wrestling t-shirts as well. This is a 2000 Jericho-holic t-shirt.
Let's go.
And if you know Jericho, he was one of the mainstays back in the early 2000s of WWE. Mm-hmm. And then on the back, it says 12 steps to recovery, and it lists out, crazy things. It says, we admitted we were powerless over Y2J. And it's dated 2000 up here at the top, and it's on that WWF tag, so it's legit. Nice. Right there. And a lot of these items that I'm showing you are available on my website, benvintagemobile.com. So if you are interested in anything you see, I am negotiable a little bit on price. So if you don't like the price on my website, you can just hit me up on my Instagram and we can talk about it there.
Nice.
I know.
What we got? Oh man,
Halo 4. Now this is not as vintage, but it's just that big print Halo 4 game tee. Yep. So it's very popular in the vintage community, just because Halo is one of the most popular games on Xbox.
Yep.
What were you about to say, Ray?
I don't know what I was. The Jericho shirt.
Yeah.
I think over time, anything Jericho is going to skyrocket.
Oh,
because, sure. He's probably going to go down in history as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
100%.
That's going to be super underrated because he's done it all, man. Like now he's at AEW and he's killing it there. He's he has a band. I think he's completely underrated, and I think he's gonna kill it.
I agree with you. How much time we got left, brother?
Dude, as much time as you want.
All right, I'm just gonna keep showing you a couple t-shirts, and then I'm gonna show you a couple of hats, and then I'm good to go, bro.
Yeah.
We've got a I believe this is 1996. Yeah, 1996 Metallica on a giant tag. This is a lot of rock tees come on this tag, or like a Brockham tag. So you got 1996, and then it's got a back hit that says Metallica Garage Inc. And the fading on this one, you can tell from the lighting that it's just amazing fade. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people love the fade in the black t-shirts just because it has that vintage look to it. And then, if you were growing up in the 90s, you might or might not remember this song. Chumbawamba. They did a song called Tub Thumper. And I'll do the chorus. You get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna make me. You remember that song?
Oh yeah.
This is the band right here. This is the actual image they had for the song, and it's on a Highlands tag, extra large. This is I think listed for 100 or 150 on my website. So yeah, I do a lot of music, sports, like wrestling type stuff like that. That's a big part of what I do. Movie, sports, wrestling, and just real heavy cultural stuff that was popular from the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Now, where do you find the majority of your stuff?
Like I said, I thrift a lot, but I also do estate sales. I do garage sales, yard sales, anywhere that I can get my hands on stuff, like digging somewhere, I'm gonna try to dig through it.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, but most of the stuff I get, it's either thrifted or from estate sales or garage sales. Now you guys will probably be like this one a lot. This is a brand new t-shirt. It's in the package, and I also do trades with people because I've built a lot of connections with people doing this for 6 years. So I know a lot of people who are open to trades. And so I get some stuff that I have by trading other stuff that I got from the thrift store.
Okay.
This is brand new though. Goosebumps.
Ooh.
In the package. If you remember Goosebumps, then you probably remember this book. I think this one's called Scared Stupid or Scared, something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but it's got the Goosebumps tag on it right there, if you can see. And this one's dated 1995. And I remember Goosebumps because I used to go to school book fairs, and it was the one book I always wanted to get. And I never had t-shirts or anything because I could never get them. But I was happy to have this in my collection. This one is for sale. It's $150 plus shipping.
That's awesome.
let's get into some hats real quick, man. So
Yeah.
I'll show you some personal hats of mine because I am a hat collector. That's a big part of why I love doing this. Because I find a ton of hats. And it's a big part of what I do. But these are some hats that you guys will appreciate. This is a 1994 Powerfest Nintendo tee or hat.
Yes, sir.
Good snapback on it, black and
This
red
thing is
color.
crispy.
Yeah, it's brand new. I barely wear this hat just because it's so beautiful, but we've got that one. And these are like my personal video game hats. I've kind of built a little collection. I haven't even posted these yet. Like I do like collection highlights on my story and stuff on Instagram. But this will be the next story or highlight that I do. So we've got Sega Sports with the red and blue. And then I just got this one in. It's another Sega Sports, but it's a black corduroy. So I've got the two Sega Sports. I was pretty happy to end up having both of these.
Dude, corduroy hats are coming back hard.
Oh, dude, it's the aesthetic. I think that people are kind of starting to understand. Like, it helps the ensemble. Okay, I'm holding. I'm sorry, I was reading a couple comments. This one right here is a favorite of mine. I got this one on an Instagram Live, believe it or not, and I got it for a good deal, so I went ahead and grabbed it. An N64 Promo Hat.
Oh man,
Nintendo N64. Awesome. This was my favorite console from Nintendo, still is to this day, and I had to have it. And then I thrifted this one, believe it or not. This one right here. This is one of my favorite hats. PlayStation, just the block logo. And then on the back, you got the PlayStation 2 hit right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Definitely cool one to have in my collection. And then I got this one, Friend. This is a PlayStation Underground. They used to do the magazine back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. You could get this if you didn't meld in like the paper or whatever. So you got that. And then it's got like some like Play logos on the back. And then I've got an Xbox Live hat from when they first did the Xbox Live on Xbox. And then on the back, it says Xbox.com. And then this one is a Total Grail. Probably not for sale for quite a while. I've got to clean it up because it got a little bit wet when I moved. But once I clean it up, I'm going to, reshape it and everything. This is a Grail hat. You're probably not going to ever see this for sale on anywhere because I've only seen two other ones for sale. Star Fox Adventures hat.
Wow.
This is like a $200-$300 hat you're looking at. Light Years Beyond, it says right there. Nice. And then on the back, it's got the Star Fox hit. Now, believe it or not, this specific hat was a cereal box promotion hat back in the...
Wow. I've never seen that hat.
Yeah, well, now you have. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my little gamer collection. And then these are some other hats that I've curated. Because, like I said, I'm still a wrestling fan, but just don't have time to watch it anymore. But you got a WCW Monday Nitro hat right here. It's got a little bit of fading on the top from like a sun fade, but it still kind of fits the little coloration of the hat. Mm-hmm. You got that guy. Then you got these are all grails right here in my opinion. You got a brand new with tags on WWF The Rock hat.
Oh, get out of here.
It says know your role in embroidery right here, and then it's got the big rock on the side, and it's just electrified, you know what I mean? Like, and this is dated. You can see it right here. 1999 WWF. And then on the back it says WWF Attitude. Then you got this one. This is a 90s Stone Cold Steve Austin right there. And then it says Stone Cold on the back. And then this one's one of my personal favorites. I had 4 of these at one point. I had Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, I believe, and then Big Papa Pump. And then I kept this one and this one right here. This is my favorite wrestler of all time. Sting. WCW logo on the side, and then on the side you got the Scorpion, and it's a strap back. So those are some personals from my collection that I wanted to share. I've got probably over 100 hats or so in my personal collection.
That's awesome.
Because I've been buying and selling stuff for a long time now, and as you kind of can see, you gather a lot of stuff, and then you just decide, all right, I'm gonna let go of some of this, but I'm gonna keep most of this.
Dude, some of that stuff I have never seen before.
Yeah, well, I got a couple more things if you don't mind looking.
No, let's go.
Monsters of the Gridiron, Coca-Cola. They did a like a promotional for like this football monster thing that they did back in the 90s. And it was like little monster football players. And they have a whole card set that came out with it too. So that's what this is, Monsters of the Gridiron. I have the hat to go with that, but it's in my van. And then this is a piece that I just got in recently. This is a 1992 Elton John World Tour. This is styled by Gianni Versace. So this is a more rare, like Elton John tee. That's the front, and then you got the back. So that's awesome. Listed on the website. And then I just got this one in as well. That's on a Looney Tunes tag. That's all, folks. I believe this is dated 1993, but it's a big Daffy Duck all over print. And then on the back it says quicksand. He's like falling in the quicksand. So like I said, all these are listed on my website. And here's another Looney Tunes piece. This is a crew neck. You got Taz on the front, and it is on a Looney Tunes tag as well. And then on the back it says rough and ragged, or rough and rugged. I keep going the wrong direction on the feed. Then you got, these are some like lower tier stuff right here. You got a nice little Falcons tee. Then you got a Triple H right here, King of Kings. This one's not as old. It is dated 2002, but we are in 2022. So 20 years is vintage. This t-shirt just turned vintage this year.
That's awesome.
You got, here's one for you. Tennessee. There you go. Tennessee Vols on the Salem tag. A lot of really good sports tees come on Salem wear tags. If you want to see that. That one's good, XL. And then this one's like an obscure tee that I think a lot of people would probably skip over just because they wouldn't believe that it would sell for what it does sell for. But this is a vintage Ben and Jerry's t-shirt.
Fish food.
Fish food, yeah. It's one of the most popular ice creams they have on their market. And this does say Made in USA on the tag. And then on the back, you've got the Ben & Jerry's like logo kind of thing. But this t-shirt, believe it or not, if you look it up, there are sold comps for over $100 on this t-shirt.
That's crazy.
And it's just that, plain fish food logo. But I actually got this at a Goodwill Bins.
That's crazy, man.
But yeah, I think that's about it, man. But I've got tons of stuff available for sale. Like I said, I do this full time, so anything that I have that you're interested in that you ever see on my Instagram, my website, or anything, you can just message me directly on any of the social media platforms. And I'm pretty open to negotiation. Obviously, I do this full time, so I've got to make money doing it. But I get stuff at a pretty good rate, so I try to keep my prices manageable.
Nice. Well, Jeremy, those are freaking awesome, dude. Those are some awesome stuff, man. So, but man, I appreciate you coming on. And guys, like Jeremy was saying, all that stuff is available on his website, which is linked down in the description below. So go check that out. Make sure you follow him on Instagram and all that good stuff. And Jeremy, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. So for anybody that may, have any questions or anything like that, shoot them a DM or anything like that. I'm sure you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, for sure. If you want to shoot me a follow on Instagram, Instagram's the main platform that I do a lot of my, business on, just because it's such a growing platform right now. And there's a lot of stuff happening. I'm also heavily on TikTok right now. But if you want to check my Instagram out, I will be going live tomorrow night on Prehistorics Live, Prehistoric Vintage. There's a flyer on my page. All you got to do is click Prehistorics Vintage. I tagged him, and then it'll take you to his page tomorrow night. I'll be there 10:30, I believe I'll be on Eastern Standard Time. And I'll be running actually one or two of the pieces I just showed, plus a couple other things. I'll be running on auction style tomorrow night.
Gotcha. All right, man. So thank you so much for coming on, Jeremy. It's been a pleasure for sure. We're gonna have to have you back, dude, because it's
definitely
getting like a little more like deep in the weeds and like how to find good stuff.
Definitely, bro.
So last words, Jeremy. You got anything else for the people?
If you're into vintage and if you're into reselling, you know what I mean, have fun. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people forget to have fun. And that's a big part of why I got involved in this, is because it reminded me of my childhood. And the biggest part of what I want to say at the end is what I put on my hats. And what does the hat say on the side? We've all been vintage. And that's kind of what I want people to know, man, is like at a certain point, we're all going to be vintage, and we're all going to be at a point where we can enjoy this. So if you do this and you want to do it full time, find a passion in it and don't let anybody change your mind. You know what I mean? Be yourself, enjoy your life, and have fun doing it.
There you go, guys. Well, there you go. Wise word from a wise man, Jeremy, Been Vintage 86. Again, guys, follow him on all those social media platforms. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. And again, we're giving this away at 3,000 subscribers.
Fleet.
So if you want this, go call your grandma up. She's vintage, and tell her to subscribe on YouTube. So thank you so much, guys, for coming on another episode of This Week in Reselling. And thank you so much, Jeremy, for coming on.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, sir.
So my name is Ray.
My name's Dustin.
And I'm Ben Vintage.
There you go. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. See y'all. God bless. Peace. Hold on, Jeremy. Hold on. Oh, he left.